Good evening, everyone. When I sat down to write what I was going to say to you all tonight, I automatically and with deep sincerity wrote the words, "Thanks for having me." As I wrote the words, I paused and asked myself why. Why am I so excited and delighted to be before you all tonight? And the answer that came to me was that there was once a time when we never thought that I'd be well enough to be here at all. My name is Morven-May MacCallum, and I am the author of Finding Joy and Keeping Joy. Both of my novels are fictitious, but they're based on my own 17-year battle with Lyme disease. I'm a Lyme disease patient, campaigner, advocate for Lyme disease awareness, and I'm also now an elected councillor within the Highland Council. But before I became all these things, I'd like to tell you a little bit about who I was before life took me down a very different path. My story starts with a young girl. She's 14. She's vivacious, boundless, hungry for knowledge. She's deeply independent and free. She's a girl who has so much energy that she doesn't know what to do with it. Every day, she gets up at 5 a.m. to go for a run with her dog, and to frantically finish the homework that she didn't do the night before. Unlike most her age, she adores school and can't wait for her adventure to start university. After school, she cycles an average of 10 miles every day, with her dog racing alongside her. At the weekends, she walks up Monroe's. She goes horse riding for up to 8 hours at a time. She volunteers at the local animal rescue centre, and in the evenings, she goes to parties with her friends, where, I can assure you, that absolutely no alcohol was consumed in vast quantities whatsoever. And in the morning, she was the annoying one who was rallying all of her hungover friends to get up and do something with the day. Within a year and a half, this bright bundle of life will become housebound and bedbound. This fiercely independent soul will become utterly dependent on her mother in order to carry out her basic human functions. This person is me, and my story is, sadly, unoriginal. In fact, it's painfully common. When I was bitten by a tick, which was infected with Lyme disease, at 14 and a half, Lyme disease was an unheard of illness. Ticks were nothing more than a nuisance. So when I started to present with symptoms of joint pain and bone pain, headaches, flu-like symptoms, physical and mental fatigue, we never thought of Lyme disease. We thought of growing pains, of heavy school bags and the stress of undergoing exams. But these benign symptoms were hiding something far more insidious. As my pain levels became unbearable and my physical weakness rendered me unable to do any of the sports I once lived for. As my mental competency depleted to the point where I couldn't remember who people were, and I'd be sitting in class assembly next to people that I'd known for up to 5 years, and I would have no idea who they were. As I started getting lost inside school corridors and the building itself that I knew better than the back of my own hand. As I struggled to utter a coherent sentence, and as my physical weakness deteriorated to the point where I had to drop out of school, because by the time I got home from school each day, I'd be so physically weak that I couldn't walk. It was at this stage, at the tender age of 16, that I became completely housebound and bedbound for over 8 years. I developed hypersensitivity in my skin, eyes, hearing, muscle spasms and rippling, loss of sensation and tingling in my limbs, balance impairment, insomnia, brain fog, and horrible levels of pain all over my body. My dizzying array of symptoms grew and grew. With each symptom, I was stripped into the shadow of the girl that I once was. And all the while, the NHS told me that I had one erroneous illness after another. Like so many others, I did not present with a bullseye rash, and because my blood tests on the NHS came back as negative, I was told that I could not possibly have Lyme disease. I was told that despite living in the countryside, next to woodland and farmland, that I did not live in an area where I could get tick bites. I was fortunate though, in the fact that my mother is a nurse, and she was able to research into every single disease that had any similarity to my symptoms, and she ruled them out one by one until only one illness matched my symptoms, and that illness was Lyme disease. Armed with research to prove that the blood tests for Lyme disease are inaccurate and that a bullseye rash is not always present, we once again went to the hospital, and we were once again refused treatment. I was labelled as having ME and CFS and left to fend for myself. With my mum watching what little quality of life I had slipping away and fearing that I would lose it entirely, she decided that she had no choice but to go private. She took me from the Highlands to a clinic down south which specialises in ME, CFS and Lyme disease. It was here that I was clinically diagnosed with Lyme disease, which was further backed up with positive blood tests from accredited laboratories in America and Germany. I have since been on over a decade of treatment which is still ongoing to this very day. I have come a long way from that bedbound girl, but there is so much further that I have yet to go before I can call myself better. And of all the pills that I take every day, that one is the most bitter. You see, if I had known how to protect myself against ticks, how to remove them safely, what symptoms to watch out for, if I had had doctors who were educated, if they had given me an early and accurate treatment, and if there was an accurate blood test for this disease, then I might not have lost the last 17 years of my life. 17 years for the sake of 4 weeks of antibiotics. And it is for that reason that it is so important and impressive that you have all come here tonight. To learn about Lyme disease, to raise awareness of it, and for each of you to hopefully go on to tell other people about it too. Ticks and tick-borne diseases are a growing issue across Scotland, and we should be motivated to tackle this challenge head on. Lyme disease awareness has come a long way since I first became ill, and to see all of you here tonight is a testament to that progress and to charities such as Lyme Resource Centre. There is so much more though that we have yet to go, and that is why I have dedicated what health I have regained to raising awareness of this disease. I travel the length and breadth of the country, writing, giving talks in schools, at festivals, universities, bookshops, businesses, to charity events, essentially anywhere that wants to learn about Lyme disease. I have been given the amazing opportunities of speaking on the likes of Country File, BBC Disclosure, Kay Adams' radio show, and many more. And I have campaigned politically on this matter, which has led me to become an elected councillor. And to me, what better way to live than to live helping others? But to achieve the goal of ensuring that no one else will ever have to endure what I and thousands like me have done, we need your support. We need you to step up and to step into the limelight with us. You see, when I started all this treatment, I was so ill that I was told I would never be able to work. I was told that the treatment I was about to embark upon was purely to try and improve my quality of life. So as I stand before you all and say to you, thank you for having me here, I mean it with the whole of my being. And in the words of my main character, Joy, this might not be the life that I wanted, nor the one I had expected, but it is the life that I have, and I have learned that my only job in this world is to find and keep my joy. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here tonight.